All right. So I think we're going live here.
Oh, are we?
Give it a second here. And all right. Well, hello everyone. Here we have Link to the Past 100. I'm gonna say 100% plus. The NMG 100% plus. I gave an incentive for 100% item completion, and then I withdrew it, but I don't think I withdrew it well enough. So I'm going to do my absolute best for y'all here to get as many extra things as I can. With me, I have my good friend, Dr. Mastermind.
Hey, how's it going?
Who will be helping me out with some commentary here. And we'll get to surprise him with some extra item locations.
That I was not prepared for.
It's okay. we'll make it through.
Yeah,
All right.
We're going to do this. I'm fine.
So, I have a file name choice here. I think it's 4 characters. Yep. Does anyone have any file name suggestions? It'll give you something to use your channel points on. Lore? Alright.
Lore
it
lore.
is.
Two votes for lore.
Well, alright, so we'll do this. Lore or OMF.
There we go.
Okay, so, well, we got some extra stuff to do, so let's get on this. And, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so beginning of the game here, we're getting... I'm not sure if this is a letter his uncle's reading, the blue hair on the right there, or if this is like a telepathic communication from Princess Zelda. But the princess is telling him that, hey, this sorcerer has captured a bunch of us and imprisoned the maidens, and I'm in the cell in the bottom of the castle. Please come save me.
I like to believe it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit like Star Wars-y, where he opens the letter and then a little hologram of like Zelda pops up and says, hey, Uncle Blue Hair, you're my only hope. And also, please cut the grass when you leave, and that's why you pick up the 2 little bushes on the side to get out of the house.
I buy it.
Yeah, I'm writing my own screenplay. So...
It is a telepathic... I was pretty sure, because there's other places that you have telepathic messages as well.
She's a wizard.
Great timing, right? So, I'm at 125 right now, if anyone's interested. Alright. So some movement tech in the beginning here. We'll be doing this thing called pumping here and there. And the reason for that is when you're moving to the west or to the north, well, when you're facing west or north, I should say, Link moves in an alternating pattern, 2 pixels, 1 pixel, 2, 1, 2, 1. And so you keep tapping left or up to tapping to kind of move diagonal to reset this 2-1 alternation to try and keep it on the 2. It's most visible right outside Eastern Palace when you are going up staircases. So, since we're getting extra items, we are getting the boomerang here.
As I say, there's a boomerang in this room. Just in
it
case.
makes me very happy. Like, I didn't get the boomerang like I should have.
The bloomerang.
Yeah. See, this is the good boomerang. I never want the other awful boomerang, but
we're gonna grab it anyway.
Good old hundo. Thanks for the good luck.
Blue meringue just sounds so much better than red meringue too. So
I mean, doesn't it?
I mean, I think
the
your
red
your
meringue
splits call it red boom or something though, so that's
I
fine.
think so, yeah. Oh my god. Don't die already.
Nice. Did you know, fun fact, although I'm going to be doing this the entire run, fun fact that's actually fake news. I'll announce when it's fake news, of course, but the song You Spin Me Right Round was actually inspired by this game from that particular enemy. So there you go.
To spare us that beeping, I'm gonna get that heart. Oh, bonus heart.
Dude, he had your back. He was like, yo, I got you.
Alright, so we've rescued our princess here, and we gotta get the heck out of here.
Princess Link and her hero, Zelda.
So here I'm walking into the wall like that because, again, when we're facing north, we move with that 2-1 alternation. But we want to go east, so we just sort of walk into the wall.
As one aptly does when exiting a castle while escaping a dungeon.
Yeah. We were shimmying along the wall like, like a secret spy.
Yeah, you were talking about your pathing earlier, and it looks like, I gotta be honest, like, at least Princess Link, keeps track of her pathing pretty well, too, I would say. Just kind of Tokyo drifts around every corner.
Right. Deja vu?
Get some running in the 90s in the background for the escape.
Uh-huh. You didn't know that?
See, I don't have the deluxe edition with the, increased soundtrack DLC and all of that stuff, so...
Man, that rap was coming for me.
Just wanted a little bit of a nibble.
Bad snakes. Well, that was actually okay snakes, but I should have went with them. Thanks.
See, that one was a bad snake.
Yeah, that one was bad. It's okay. So we're almost out of the castle here. Did some more pumping on the way out here.
The Eurobeat Deluxe Edition, yes.
Oh. Thanks, Loopy.
Yeah. Bloomerang right there was like, nah, see a nerd.
Got debated by a blue rupee. Let's go. Though actually, I'm trying to do 100% item completion as best I can. I kind of want to be greedy and get as much as I can.
It's like, so far the NPCs and the enemies and the items that they're looking out for you in the end, and that's the important thing.
Right.
I also see our good friends Cluely and Reclesis in the chat.
Yep. Good to see everyone here. Hope y'all have been enjoying the marathon so far too.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I've been lurking in the background, watching runs here and there.
My favorite thing to do with really, really long time is, have it up in the background while I'm doing a bunch of other stuff.
Yep. Oh, they're right. The timer did stop. I just actually noticed that.
So the timer does that occasionally. It's still running in the background, but I think it's Node CG they're using for it, and sometimes it doesn't update.
I mean, to be fair, it just means that, for no major glitches 100% plus, this is, crazy good run. Crazy world record right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Extreme pace.
Exactly.
Yeah, so in the run, we're going to be picking up lots of things, but by the end, we're going to be very, very healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Extremely healthy.
Definitely. Kill that guy. Jerk.
Way healthier than I have ever been in this game ever.
I love that little trick of booming that statue. You can also sword slash him, but the Octorok being so close was like, I'm just not gonna play it that unsafe there.
Yeah, so now we're in the first, like, dungeon.
Yep.
Which I think, as far as Zelda games goes, this is a pretty good one for an introductory dungeon. You know, not too many places to get lost, and by not too many, I mean, like, none.
Because I need all kinds of money.
Oh,
Grab that.
nice.
I was like, where's the big one?
The rare time stop glitch. We only do it ever so often. As we've just activated it again. It's brand new. Brand new to the no major glitches category. Time stops. So it's fine. Yeah, so a cool thing you noticed in that last room while we were meaning about time stop glitches, there are a set of skeletons that are supposed to like pop up in there, but you can take the pots and like kill 2 of them really early. So like as you go towards the object like in the center, it doesn't spawn the rest of them and like close the door. So
yeah,
makes things a little bit easier when you can just kill the enemies when they're not even on screen. So
yeah,
when they're
so
just hiding in the
there's
background.
like a U-shaped trigger in there that you can kind of follow along with the tiles. And when you cross that is when they spawn. And we walk in such a way that one of them spawns outside of the room, and one of them spawns on top of the pot in the middle. Because they always kind of spawn in a plus sign around you. In the like cardinal directions around you. So we abuse that.
Yeah, so basically they couldn't be bothered.
Yep.
Like they were just like, nah.
Exactly.
So
there's a nice little damage boost.
Yep. So he used a little elder god plant thing in the right of the screen to take a little bit of damage, so he could go through the anti-fairies and get towards the button that he had to push. So again, small, quick things, but like things you kind of take for granted.
Yeah.
Because most people are like, man, I don't want to take a hit. I only have 4 hearts. It's like, yeah, but you know, the time saved though.
Ooh, red. You're mentioning those enemies looking out for me.
So I noticed you picked up a bow in that like big chest there, man. It's as if this game isn't even randomized.
I know, right?
Because it's not.
Imagine that.
Oh, someone else made the exact same joke. At frame perfect. I didn't even realize it. So,
Honest jerk.
he was taking a nap.
He was just like, I'm gonna walk over to the left here.
Oh no, it's time for the double kill.
Yep.
Crushed it. Oh! Dang. Rip. I'm also going to get banned.
Oh, sorry, Max.
Or purged. Rip. I asked you beforehand what was allowed for commentary. You lied.
Got him.
Interestingly enough, another fake news fun fact about Link to the Past. Those moving statues were inspiration for the 2010 acclaimed Canadian film The Shrine. So you should definitely go check that out at your earliest convenience. Eagle's gonna be over here like, what is he talking about? Like, I regret everything about inviting this guy. Oh, and here's everyone's favorite NPC, the one whose name no one can pronounce, because it just sounds like someone like blew a big sneeze. I'm not even gonna try. So.
Yep. Yeah, so he's one of the sages, I think his title is. And so he's just telling us like, hey, you know, this is the old lore, this is what we gotta do. And spin speed 10.
Whee!
And get caught on a corner time.
That's part of the spin speed thing.
Oh.
So I really enjoy the fact that chat's getting into the homie who's certainly molding. I've seen Sausage Rolla and Salad Shooter in chat as potential names. Bless you, both. It's like Shahashrala or something like that, but
Something, yeah.
I just call him the molding old man that gives you like speed shoes.
Right. So this spin speed, what we're doing here is we charge up a spin attack, and then as we release it, I think it might be a couple frame window, but I want to say next frame we press the dash button. And since the dashing gets interrupted by the spin, it puts us in this super speed state. And then if we trigger stairs, we can move with dashing speed in all 8 directions.
Which is great, again, for saving time. Alright, chat is still going. I feel like I need to put in some minor corrections to some of these names, though. Sassafras is a good one, but is that not the name of the... I could be totally off on this. Is that not the name of the cat from Homeward Bound? And then we've got Sarsaparilla, which is an old Wild West drink, as far as I know. We've got Shalashashka, which is the Russian name of Revolver Ocelot, and Sriracha, which is a hot sauce. Oh, and we also got C. Shelasella, who I believe was a small girl that sold seashells down by the seashore. Oh. And then we've got that sauce that no one can pronounce. So it's fine.
It's okay.
So welcome to the second dungeon. This one's also like pretty straightforward, pretty clear cut in terms of like what you want to try to accomplish. Obviously a lot of the dungeons end up being like finding enough small keys to make through it, obviously getting the big key, and then fighting the boss. This dungeon has an especially wonderful boss.
Oh god, yeah.
Known simply as Stupid Worms.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's my
So,
just stupid worms.
Stupid Worms. So, we're ready. I'll go ahead and give my fake news fun fact for this dungeon ahead of time. Ooh, blue rupee. Ooh, 2 of them. Oh, you skipped them. Oh, yeah. You non-greedy speedrunner, you.
I know.
But fake news fun fact, this dungeon and boss actually inspired the film Tremors.
I knew it.
So,
I was like, what movie is he gonna say?
Which starred the homie Kevin Bacon, who is not much unlike Link in that he's 2-dimensional. And of course, the big name in that film and who carried that film to greatness, Reba McEntire. So.
Reba.
You know she has her own clothing line? Like, it's insane.
At Target, right?
No, JCPenney. of all places, so.
Interesting.
And now we just picked up the Nintendo Power Glove, which is awesome, because now we can actually, like, pick things up.
Yep.
Which is wonderful. So, that always just reminds me... Deagle and I disagree on 3D Zelda games, and that's perfectly fine, but it always just reminds me of how, like, young Link in OOT couldn't pull grass out of the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Until he got a strength bracelet, and I'm just like, bruh.
Oh, I forgot that. Oh, thanks for the boost, I guess.
I was like, Yeah, so you'll also notice at certain parts of the game that, like, if you dash from, like, far enough away and stuff, and, like, I guess if you're aligned properly, of course, you can dash through key doors, which, again, is going to save you a little bit of time over the entire, length of the run. Or you can be like me and try to do it and bonk into every door.
Yeah, so this is also if you're on... Hello? There we go.
It really liked bonking off the lamp.
Yeah, so you need to be on the... I must have Oh. Well, I was thinking about the wrong room, so I was too busy talking. So you want to be on the grid, so to speak, here. Like, if you look at the tiles, they're sort of a 8 pixel by 8 pixel grid. And if you run into the door on the like very first pixel of a square in this grid, you can dash right through it. Like, you'll unlock it and dash through it. So that's why I'm like dashing from the bottom of the room, or trying to nudge off torches, or stuff like that. Oh, that's...
That worm was just going his own way, dude.
Yeah.
Stupid worms!
So I'm gonna need you to get shot by more arrows.
Just real quick, just like, I didn't, we all know took an arrow to the knee. I'm gonna need to take an arrow to the face a few more times.
There's a beautiful, 4-cycle worm there.
Hey, keep in mind in the video that I watched earlier to prepare for everything that you were going to be doing, I believe in your video you said, oh, well, there was 3 cycles of doing 0 damage. This time I feel like a lot more damage was done per cycle.
I think so. Yeah, I think my PB in this is like really bad. Like a, 6 or 7 cycle?
I mean, I loved it. But, I am a glutton for punishment. So, this is fine. Yes, Cooley Deagle knows a bajillion speedruns. So,
I think it's pretty close to 80.
There you go.
Different categories.
Nice.
40-something games.
Fake news fun fact about Deagle, his speedrunning addiction actually inspired the television show Hoarders, because he holds on to all of his categories like they are items in his garage. There you go. The silence is deafening.
Fun fact.
The other side of the microphone.
Actually. And stop in here. Actually, this is a really terrible place to get money now that I'm thinking about it.
Because of the amount of time you have to use to pick up the pots, or?
Yep.
Are you gonna stop by the I can't remember which dungeon specifically they're in, but are you gonna stop in the money pits in?
Yeah, I should have done that in Eastern. I thought about that.
He goes, okay, first of all, chat, I just want to let y'all know right away. He was like, this is the worst possible place to get money because it's slow. Not because of the fact that he strolled into someone's house, stole all of their money, didn't even say hello, and left.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure there's money in here. May as well grab that too.
The mini homie cave.
I think old boy here gives us
oh, there's red at least.
Yeah.
Oh. Yo, and now it's even worse. He walks into this man's house, grabs his treasures, and then steals $300 from his pocket. Although, to be fair, if you're walking around with $300 cash in your pocket, you asking for trouble. Oh.
Alright. You ready for Fig Flipper? Can you explain it?
No. I know what it is.
So, as with a lot of classic games, we're trying to do 2 things at once. Transition the screen and hit the water. So, Link to the Past, the way it checks whether you can swim is during that splash animation, when you first jump into the water, it does a check for if you have flippers. But since we are transitioning the screen at the same time as hitting the water, the game doesn't get a chance to do that splash check. Or to splash and therefore do the flipper check.
Defense, by the way, it's been a very, very long time since I've commentated a whatever the other one was, where we actually explained fake flippers. The other run of Link to the Past. So, and in your video
RNG.
that I watched to make sure that I knew my stuff in that particular. So, but now we know.
To be fair, we do a fake flipper in that run, but it is not at all done in the same way.
Yeah, true.
We do the splash deletion technique, which is a
with the 6 arrows and the.
Yep. So basically, we fill up all of the sprite slots the game has, so it just cannot produce the splash animation. Here we just
also
sort of interrupt its process. Will we get to spin speed all the way up the mountain, or is Death Mountain going to be typical Death Mountain? Hey, there it is.
Interesting fake news fun fact.
Oh, go away.
Oh wow, that was like a really clutch reaction. Holy moly. I swear you went in that man's hitbox and then just left. You were like, nope.
Yep.
But yeah, the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was actually inspired by Death Mountain in Link to the Past, with its falling meatballs on the mountain. There you go.
Some great fun facts.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like one of the only games, if not the only one, where Link is actually wearing the flippers on his hands.
I think so.
Yeah.
And they are, that's actually where they're supposed to be for this. Everyone thinks they're feet flippers, but in this game they definitely are hand flippers.
And that is why Link consistently looks like he's eating the water, because he's coming up for air on each like breathstroke kind of thing.
Alright, I'm terrible at this. I was trying to do a boom dash there so I could throw the boomerang down and dash to the
and the tiles were like. I always wanted to know, in terms of like the tiles in the tile room, like some of them make like really cool designs on the floor. Like that one kind of looks like a skull or a sculptula if you're looking at it a certain way. But then some of them just look like random garbage that got pulled off the floor. So, like,
in this game, where am I going? In this game, they all make that pattern. In Rando, they can shuffle around a bit.
Fair. Okay.
Do I need to pause while fixing that?
It seems okay. It seems okay on my end. It happens ever so often, but only maybe between like 1 or 2 room transitions. So again, what you're noticing is actually not lag. It is pure god. He's actually going.
Internet is like turning super red.
You mean you're drinking more God Gamer speed fuel? So, oh yeah, let's get some bomb jumps. Nice.
Of course, today the internet would.
I mean, it's Murphy's Law all day today for you, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so with the bomb jumps and stuff, basically using like the bomb and the fact that the bomb usually blows you back to kind of blow you over like big gaps in the floor. As we head towards my least favorite boss in the entire game. I hate this dude. He just looks like a bunch of cheeseburgers connected together with googly eyes.
Oh. Sir?
Nice. That was good. Very good. Interestingly enough. And so, yeah. And in fact, there was a caterpillar-like creature in A Bug's Life who was my favorite character. And he was amazing. And he could sing opera. I don't think Moldorm can. So, you
I don't think so.
know. Maybe.
All right. So I keep. Why am I going to escape now?
Oh, you know you want to.
I need to escape first.
Right.
So I do see my internet kind of fluctuating back and forth. So, Zell, if you want me to try and do anything about it, this doesn't normally happen. Usually pretty good, but Comcast.
Are we gonna get the hover? Okay.
Yes.
The answer is yes. Nailed it. Okay.
Nailed
so
it,
yeah,
100%.
of course, if you're gonna try to hover and you don't make it for any particular reason, it's better to do it as like Deagle has said before in other videos and stuff that I've watched. Better do it on the way out than on the way in. That way, like you do have to take a longer exit to Death Mountain, but it's better than like having to like go all the way back around and like try to get that heart piece a different way, which would be a complete nightmare.
Yeah, there is a bomb jump you can do there too. I haven't actually learned said bomb jump, but there is one. It's
Oh heck yeah! Blowing trees.
fairly recent as far as things in Link to the Past go. But yeah, I prefer. I like hovering, so I try to do it when I can.
Oh, chat's getting into fake news fun facts. Okay. I also like to make a mention as we enter the spooky woods with the happiest spooky woods music ever. That those two lumberjacks before we walked in here are also like the strongest lumberjacks I've ever seen, cutting down an entire tree only using one hand.
Yep.
It's amazing. So we've gotten our three like pendants, and now we can pull the Master Sword or pull Ped. And unlike in Rando, there's actually something good here. Oh. It's a better sword.
Yep. So now
I
the
like
clouds
mayonnaise.
go away. And this here is I'm just gonna say the pastor in the church there. He's not having a good day. He's been a little bit killed. In fact, you know what? This is really lots of lore. We're not going to be able to read what he says, and I actually don't remember what he says. But let's go visit the pastor.
Okay, I was about to say, there hasn't been many times when I've been lost, but I was like, what are you talking about?
I cannot remember what his actual, like, how he's referred to in the game.
Lawrence. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, for some lore for y'all, anyone
this
who
guy.
doesn't know, if you come visit him, you can see he's been a little bit killed.
Oh no! Oh no! My sweet prince! Where have you gone?
So he was trying to protect the princess, but Aghanim's forces got to her anyway. And, yeah. A little bonus for y'all.
Dang, he won't be in Rush Hour 2. Feels bad. Also, early reminder, don't forget the blue tunic.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a fun one.
Oh, I'm excited for Dig Game. To be honest. Dig Game and Chess Game? Oh, I'm so ready. I'm pumped.
Do you think I'll set a new chess game record?
Absolutely.
So my
100%.
record for chess game is, no joke, 23 tries.
Oh, I meant the opposite way. I think you're going to get it first try today.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Yeah. So we're gonna pull these spin me right round guys here, these mace wielders, close together so we can basically double slash them with the master sword and just like take them out to begin with. So makes that room a lot easier. If you don't do it like that, and you do it like the slow way, it's real slow. Like real slow.
What I did there is the slowest strat for that.
I don't know. You haven't seen me try to go through there and like smack them individually and try to murder them. It is slow. Like,
yeah, the fastest thing is a combination of spin attacks and arrows, actually.
Oh, there you go.
It's a strat I just haven't practiced, so we're not doing it.
Alright, so we're heading on towards confronting Aghanim and another fun mini game that we can play with chat. How many sets of blue balls do you think we are going to get today?
Can be anywhere from 0 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's more, I've really messed up.
But on average, it's around 4-ish.
3 is the average. 3, 4. 3, 4, yeah.
Oh, nice. Clearly nice.
Sir.
I always love how, like, how fast some of these enemies move. Like, some of them are blind as a bat. Like, you can run literally right by them and they see nothing. And then some of them see you and they're just like a freaking car.
Right. It is so nice having the boomerang in this room, which you normally do not in Hundo.
Okay. Witch says 7. Cooley says 5. Sire says 15.
Of course Sire says 15.
Yeah.
Did you expect literally anything else from him?
I did not. So...
It's Steven IRL. He doesn't go by Scrivo.
So this is something fun that I didn't know you can actually do after playing this game a few times, is I honestly thought you had to stand in the doorway or walk towards Aghanim to get the text to proc.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I saw people doing this, like when they just like walked over, I'm like, oh, that's so much quicker, because you're like, you just like walk, you cut down on your distance. Oh.
Yeah, it's purely a timer right there.
Alright, here we go.
So here's the tennis match in this game. There's not much tech in this fight. Since he's gonna teleport around the room, there's one. Your goal is really to just try and hit him back toward the middle of the room if you can.
It's 2.
Oh my
3.
God, really?
Okay.
We're on pace for 15, by the way.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay, no more 15. That's out.
Alright, 15 is out of the running.
Alright.
Now he's just being really nice. I don't like this. Oh my god! What is this?
Do you know if you slash him, you get shot?
Nice.
Just thought you'd like to know. Sweet. 3.
Alright, 3 was the answer, and the prize goes to no one. Everyone sucks. Congrats.
Yeah,
alright. Parse also with the fake news fun fact. The Aghanim fight from Link to the Past was the inspiration for the classic Wii sports game, Tennis.
Yeah, I can see it.
Interestingly to note, as well to add on to your fun fact, that Wimbledon is actually a Welsh word meaning Aghanim. So there we go. Alright, so don't forget the pyramid heart piece.
Oh yeah, got that.
That's a thing. So...
I think I've got them all so far.
You're looking pretty healthy. So, heading on over to basically a dungeon we've already seen. It's just in a different like organization entirely.
Mm-hmm. good old Palace of Darkness. This dungeon has the best boss in the game. No one can convince me otherwise. He is an absolute jerk in the speedrun, but he's still my favorite boss.
But a national treasure in our hearts, starring Nicolas Cage. There you go.
Exactly.
And then you have Greedy... Monkey's name is Kiki in this? I can't remember.
His name is Extortion Artist.
Which is interesting that you bring that up, because the crime known as bribery and extortion was actually inspired by Link to the Past, by that monkey. Before this game came out, there was no such thing as bribery or extortion. They remodeled it for enhanced security. Yeah, by adding a dinosaur.
It's a
That's
dinosaur
pretty good.
with a mask, sir.
Oh, fair. My apologies.
I
He
mean,
has a
bandits
persona.
all wear masks, don't you know?
He's a bandit dinosaur?
I mean,
What?
look at his mask. Well, when we get there, check out his mask.
I'm looking. I'm ready. I got my eyes peeled. Uh-oh.
So the fun fact here is when you run a bunch of different categories of Link to the Past, in particular glitched versus non-glitched, this dungeon is routed very differently between the two.
True.
And so trying to remember which way to go sometimes is quite the chore.
I've seen this dungeon done both ways, and yes, and not only is it super different, but like even the color palette changes.
It's true.
So,
I almost jumped down like this was RMG.
oh god,
Because we actually go up there first, then jump down for the second key. Obviously we don't need to do that. Right around that dude there.
so this dungeon actually has my favorite enemies, which are the little turtles, because they're adorable, and I would easily have a plush of said turtles. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for hammer yumping. Nice.
Yeah, so that's a double pixel perfect trick. We need to have a perfect Y pixel position to place the bombs and to get blasted across. And the way collision is done in this game is a little interesting, and that if we hit these corners of these rails in a certain way, we can actually clip through them. Yeah, so that's what we exploit there.
Just like that treasure chest exploited the fact that its hitbox extends further than its actual art, which is why an arrow got stuck in nothing. So you're also going to see Deagle do something cool with the statues and stuff. You see him like wiggling side to side. That actually helps to push the statues faster, which is actually kind of cool. And it helps provide the fact that the song Wiggle 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 was actually inspired by Link to the Past.
That Link to the Past is pretty inspirational.
It really is. It's crazy for a game that was inspired by Ocarina of Time.
Alright, look. I let you in here and say some nonsense like this. I know you did this on purpose.
Oh, absolutely. 100%, yeah.
You know what? Just for that, see this turtle right here?
No! Oh, gosh, his name was Cameron. You call him by his name. Now, my two loves have died. Cameron and Lawrence.
Alright, nice. That was actually a pretty good turtle run.
Yeah,
No
that
turtle
was
party.
actually... It was... I prefer the party, personally, but that was very good.
Yep.
Oh.
The pizza was not legal.
No turtles were actually harmed in the making of this video game.
So I did the spin speed glitch there. Even though I obviously cannot hit a staircase in here, and I'm not moving any faster. But what some of you may know is the hammer hitbox is hella jank in this game, especially facing upward.
Nice.
But with the spin speed glitch active, the hammer's hitbox actually extends quite a bit forward. And yeah.
Which makes the fight way better. Like, not having to... Yeah, because he does... is it 2?
2.
Or... Yeah,
2
so
per
2
hit.
hearts of damage on a hit, and at this point in the game, like, if you're playing casually, maybe you picked up some heart pieces here or there, but you probably haven't picked up all of these ones.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
getting help,
even
like,
the
a few...
speed
Or hurt
run-
a few times.
Speedrun, you come here with 6 or 7, depending on if you got the heart container in Sanctuary. In my favorite category, RMG, you come here with a whole whopping... God, it's been a minute. 4 or 5 hearts.
4?
It's
I think,
4.
yeah.
And so it's, you can take 1 hit. Yeah.
But we have lots of cash.
Oh yeah.
Very rich.
A whole lot of cash. More than we'd normally have right now.
Oh, and there's some more. Oh,
Yep.
I wasn't so generous today.
We're gonna get a whole bunch more cash in a second here too.
It's like everyone's been super generous during the entire marathon too, which is always awesome to see.
Yep. Dash in the right place.
Terror
So-
birds.
That we call him Murder Dactyl because
Yeah.
that's what he does. He murders. Oh, I had it. I let it go. All right, there was our first item dash. So
Which
that's
is
done
my
by-
favorite.
Yeah, that's done by hitting the item button and the dash button at the same time. This is almost all of these glitches are exclusive to the Japanese 1.0 version. I think these are... I guess I'm just going to stop with that one. Alright, so we have max rupees.
Nice.
Okay, so we're going to spend a bunch of rupees very soon because we have far too many. But,
No, I'm telling you, now that you have all of these, you're gonna first try everything that requires money.
Oh, watch that happen.
Max Rupees is an action hero in Hyrule. I hope so. I hope he started several movies. Sire asked, how many revisions did they release in this game?
At least 2, I think?
Nice.
So, do you think we have enough money for Dig Game is the question.
Yeah, because it's only going to cost you, you know, whatever first try is. So,
Only 80. That's okay, I'm not actually getting money for the Dig Game. I'm not worried about that. We got chores that require lots and lots of money.
that's true.
Which we're on the fly routing here, so this will be fun.
One of the other things I really loved about this game is, like, if you wanted to freely explore, like, the overworld and everything like that, you could do that, and, like, it's interesting, like, there are several hints placed throughout the world about, like, where, like, the mirror could be used and stuff, which made it, like, way easier than, you know, having to, like, try to find a guide or something to find secrets and stuff. Alright, here we go. Oh god. things are looking bleak for our hero.
So usually the heart piece shows up like somewhere around here.
No!
Well, not first try dig game.
I was wrong.
I think my record here is 8. 8 tries. I hope we don't hit that.
Me too. But to be fair, this song is super cat jam because it's just like, oh, it's just such a lively tune to like dance in your chair to.
Right?
Where is the heart piece? Where did this heart piece? See, I mean, come on. Sire hoping for the 10th try. Sire wants a PB in dig game and chest game.
Oh my god. Come on.
Oh my goodness. Oh, 2 down. 7 to go to get the PB. So I know the game knows, obviously, and the AI is always listening, but I think I heard you say earlier, like, usually the heart piece kind of, like, shows up somewhat near the center.
So it's not that it's somewhere towards the center, just I think it doesn't show up in the first 15 digs.
Oh, in the number of digs. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So it usually when I'm like going to the right is when it shows up.
I also find it.
There it is.
Hey, all right, third try.
Can we dig up another red rupee here? No.
I also find it very interesting that like Zelda, the main character in green, is capable of digging the perfect hole.
Right.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Until he reaches into the same pile of soft dirt that he has been reaching into, and then it clinks on something every time.
Right.
Oh, Deagle, what are you doing here? Who wants this piece of trash?
Exactly.
That NPC is really hard to love because he wants to give you his heart, but he calls it trash. Like, man, gotta have a little self-love, you know?
Okay, so normally we wouldn't be getting the flippers yet, but I need to unload some of this money, like really bad. So we will be.
How much time loss are we gonna suffer because of having to get rid of all of this money?
Oh, a good bit. Good bit. But that's okay. Y'all,
and why per se do we need to offload it?
One, because we're about to get 2 more 300 rupee drops.
Oh, that's fair.
And this game, if you pick up more rupees, it doesn't put them back in the chest. It just wastes them.
You're just throwing money around.
Mm-hmm.
So, and look, we've activated the duck.
Yep.
Not many people know, interestingly enough, just like this duck can fly you around town and do good things for you, the duck from Aflac can also do absolutely wonderful things for you. And in fact, the Aflac duck was inspired by this duck in Link to the Past.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm. So now we gave the witch her mushroom, so now she can make the magic powder. And all we have to do to get the magic powder is leave the screen and come back. She is truly someone of magic powers.
Yeah. Efficient.
Oh.
Yeah, so you might recognize this is not the typical order to do things in. We normally get these flippers much later, but yeah, money.
But then we don't have to worry about flippers.
We need to do that afterward. Because I don't have flippers. So we're off. We're gonna get another often not seen item. let you guys see if you can figure out what it is. There's actually 2 items we're going to get here pretty soon, after the flippers.
Fun fact, by the way, Gyarados' head is based off of King Zora.
Kind of does look like him, actually.
I was gonna say, I have a feeling some people might believe that one. But that's just more fake news fun facts.
What if it isn't though?
That would be hilarious, and I should patent this idea. I'm sure Nintendo doesn't have that one yet, so...
So because we got the blue boomerang in the castle, we actually have to come here to get the red one.
Oh, okay.
This is the only way to get it, because in the chest that would normally have the red boom in Hundo is now going to be at 300 rupees.
Which is great, because we're running low on cash.
Yeah. And then we want one more item here. Hello. Right, the second item is actually... We're going to toss a shield in.
Deagle over here rushing the fairy who's, like, doing a service to him.
Right.
Like the guy at the restaurant that's like, waitress, you've been gone for like 5 minutes. Like...
Rushing the bird, too.
Interestingly enough, Karens were actually inspired by this Link to the Past behavior.
Oh, actually, I wanted to go spend more money real quick.
Gonna run out of money for chess game.
No, we're not. We'll be fine.
That, I mean, if you PB...
So we're actually going to come in here and spend 300 rupees.
Oh god, we're gonna spend 300 rupees 20 at a time?
Thankfully, no. The
I was
first
like, oh
100
God.
is 20 at a time, though. So, in here, when you toss in money, it actually tells you, you know, you have like a little luck, bad luck, good luck. And if you get really good luck, or maybe it's just good luck, I don't remember if it actually says really good luck. It actually increases item drops from enemies. So there actually is a function. So that last one we just got was a little luck. What are we gonna get here? Oh, we're gonna get the fairy here, because that was 100. Alright, look at that, we have 15 bombs now.
Sick.
So we increased our capacity. Alright, so now we can throw 50 at a time. Ooh. I didn't actually pay enough attention. That was a lot of something.
Oh god, a lot of bad luck.
It might be.
A one-hit
One
KO
of the
might
things
activate
is
it.
terrible luck. Alright, so we got 20 bombs now.
Dude, we're crushing it with the bomb bags.
I think we'll get some more arrows next. Oh, that was a little luck.
It's like you've played this game before.
I know, right? Let's get some more arrows. 35 arrows.
You have to think, like, this, the fairy in the fountain there is extremely nice considering, like, you have this small child
Right?
throwing the equivalent of 50-cent pieces and stuff on top of her head over and over and over again. I don't know about anyone in chat, but I wouldn't be very happy if someone was doing that to me multiple times.
Right? Oh, wait, I wanted bombs first.
We gotta blow up the bat so we can get more stuff. So we are using the mirror to send these blocks to the Shadow Realm?
Yep.
Nice.
Exactly.
Speaking of Shadow Realm, did you know, fake news fun fact, that in fact the Shadow Realm in the critically acclaimed and award-winning children's card game Yu-Gi-Oh! Was actually inspired by using the mirror to get rid of stuff in Link to the Past.
Interesting.
In fact, originally Maximilian Pegasus used to say Linky Boy instead of Yugi Boy. And they had to cut it out, obviously.
Some good maps.
Mad, I believe that's called Making It Hail.
Making it hail. Yep. Alright, so look, we're already back at 266. I think we're good on rupees.
How
for,
many
chess
chess games does that give us?
3 without like getting more rupees inside it. By the way, apples. They're effectively reskinned hearts in the game.
Yes.
Yeah. So by the way, if you're curious, I have my splits going for 100% because sometimes I need a little reminder of.
How many minutes in the red are we?
8.
8 minutes? That's not bad. Considering all the rerouting and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not as bad as I thought here. Especially considering some of this is on the fly rerouting.
Yeah, so in terms of all items and all of this stuff, have you ever submitted a time for this particular category?
No.
Oh, okay, well then it's an automatic PB.
Well, I think I'm supposed to be getting to do this category properly. I think I'm supposed to be getting compasses and maps, but
I mean, no one really has to know.
right. So what is that?
Man,
2
Deagle,
chess games?
I've really enjoyed. That's 2 so far. I've really enjoyed your run so far, and all of those compasses and maps you picked up.
Hey, okay.
Hey. So 3rd try for both, yeah?
Yep.
The game. She knows.
That's pretty acceptable here. Right. So we open that up, and then we're gonna dash down here.
To see my second favorite sprite in the
Nice
game.
bomb toss.
Through everything. Just yeet. My second favorite sprite in the game, which is the skeleton Kukos.
Yeah, the chest game, Manic, I've had 23 attempts before. it can be very bad.
23 attempts is an interesting number, by the way, because 23 attempts on chess game actually inspired the Oscar award-winning 23 starring Jim Carrey. So, that one was on the fly. I did not actually look that up beforehand. I was like, how can I throw this one in here? Okay.
So yeah, so this dungeon here is
I love this dungeon.
lag central. Because there's just so many sprites. It lags the hell out of this game.
Yeah, so I really like this dungeon. It's one of my favorites in terms of like the stuff you can do and like the enemy types and stuff, but I hate the boss. I cannot stand the boss in this dungeon.
Alright, so this is in preparation for a place we'll need to go later. To get the Cane of Burna. Because you can do that without a fairy, but only just. And I'm not very good at the only just part of it.
Oh, that's the spike. Yeah, the spike one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just grab the fairy and make sure we actually get through. I love that little bonk there.
So earlier, I made a mention of the fact that Link to the Past inspired the movie A Bug's Life. Inadvertently, it also inspired the other animated bug-type movie from my childhood, which was Ants, where the main bad guys were actually grasshoppers.
Oh.
Yeah, and so these little... Trying to think of an insult that's family-friendly. I can't. So, were the major inspiration there, so...
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Man,
I
really had a
another
hard time
fun
there.
fact in chat there.
Yeah, I see that. 23 is one more than 22, which is emblematic. Oh, I love the language use. For the Batman villain Two-Face, the +1 is justified by the presence of the villain the Riddler, which is why the number 23 inspired Batman Forever. Nice.
Yeah, lots of education going on in this run here. You know, as a teacher, I appreciate this.
As a second teacher, I also appreciate this. And the upgraded version of the Nintendo Power Glove, this one actually will heat your Hot Pocket for you.
This is the Nintendo Titan Glove.
Oh. They didn't go the NVIDIA route and just called it the Nintendo Glove TI.
Actually, isn't Titan an NVIDIA graphics card?
I honestly don't know.
Alright, everyone say it together. This boss is scripted.
Unless you're Matt. And then it's not. Or I guess if you're Sire too, because I think Sire also hates this boss, which is literally the only thing in this life that we agree on.
Alright, there he goes. So he will always follow the same pattern as long as you do the same things there. And,
yeah. That was damageless, yeah?
Yep.
Nice. Eat your heart out, Dark Souls.
No lie, I'm pretty sure that was like the best fight I've had with him. Normally I make like a small mistake, like not enough to get like seriously off script with him, but usually make a small mistake, get hit there. But that was a really good fight, actually. Nearly perfect.
So, I actually have a question for you based on these extra things that you're grabbing, which are obviously like these crystals. So, I always wondered this even since I was a child. Do these crystals, when you pick them up, like release these kidnapped girls somewhere in the kingdom? Or are you literally picking up the crystal that this small child was kidnapped in?
I think it is the latter, because you see the crystals again later.
That is terrifying, because the crystal is about a fourth of the size of Link most times, or like it's certainly smaller than like a child would be, which means that is so cramped. It's like being 7 foot tall on a Southwest Airlines flight. Don't hit the chicken! I'm upset. I'm calling PETA, dude.
PETA %?
Or Pet C, People for the Ethical Treatment of Skeleton Cuckoos.
There you go. Right. Oh my god. I got jebaited by Hundo again. So we need to go save a frog real quick.
Oh, that's true. I was sitting here, I'm like, man, Deagle knows what he's doing. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he knows what he's doing.
Yep. Yeah, so in any percent, you normally dash down to the place where I grabbed that first 300 at in town. And then you go get the frog, but since I didn't go get the frog there, I just kind of autopiloted to some any percent.
So, which bringing up my least favorite emote on all of the platform. hate the man
yes.
chickens. It's my least
Man
favorite part of
chicken.
my favorite Zelda game, which is Twilight Princess. I hate them. They're so ugly.
Do you guys like, depending on
Money?
who you are, hot Cheetos or carrots?
Or perhaps, if you're feeling very spicy, Taki Fuegos. I guess we'll find out soon. But I personally like giving blood to the blood gods and having a little bat give me double magic.
Oh yeah. So now our magic consumption is reduced by half.
Which is a really weird way of saying double magic.
Yeah. It's like, look, they just didn't want that magic meter going down, like, halfway down the screen, I guess.
Alright, so we gotta transition the screen again like we did with the witch for the magic powder.
Because I had the mirror portal there, I actually did not need to do that. So used to any percent again. Yeah, fun fact there.
A true one! A true fun fact, some might say.
Excuse me? Wait there, chest. I know, imagine fun facts being true.
Cheetos! Interesting fake news fun fact. Those bread-making dwarves are actually they're named Frito and Lay, and they were the original CEOs and builders of Frito-Lay factories around Hyrule, which later became America, and that's how Cheetos were born.
Interesting.
Oh. Here comes the duck again.
Yep. Guess where we're going.
Are we going to ice?
Nope.
Dang it! Oh, yeah, of course.
Yep.
Because, as if we haven't done this enough. So you're saying that Fritos predate the United States? Of course. Absolutely. There are actually, interesting enough, there are cave paintings in the south of France that actually depict the caveman from the Geico commercials eating bags of Cheetos. You can tell because they were actually carved and colored using Cheeto dust.
The more you know.
If your gut is thinking it's questionable, that means you're hungry and need to eat more Cheetos.
Oh, I hit no on throwing money in.
And the fairy was like, thank you, I already have the worst migraine.
Alright. So I think 30 bombs, if I'm not mistaken, is the max.
I think that'll be enough for the run, but
Might be.
never, just in case.
Not sure. Yeah, it's either 30 or 50 points. I can't remember. So we're gonna hit bombs again.
I honestly forgot what the last
It's
dungeon
50.
we did was. Oh yeah, it was Thieves' Town.
I'm glad I checked bombs. It is 70 arrows though.
Oh my god, are we getting set? This is like fairy percent?
Pretty much.
We are gonna visit Fat Fairy, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So the nice thing now is, so we went up by 5 each time to 40. But if I am not mistaken here, the very last one should go up by 10.
So I just want to make sure for chat purposes and so forth. So with the addition of the incentives, which you guys so kindly hit, and don't forget to check out the charity when you get the chance if you haven't gotten to do so, can always check out their website and so forth. That will let you know a little bit more about them and about what you're donating towards, which is always important. And they are an awesome charity, so please make sure to check that out. But because of the incentive that was met, I know for a fact your estimate was not made probably with that in mind. If I had to guess.
When I gave the estimate, I set an extra half hour, which
okay,
I think is about right.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. I think we can make this work. So,
we have 5 more of these upgrades to get.
yo, the feels when this is part of your speedrun.
Right?
You thought grinding in like RPGs and like step counters are bad. Imagine throwing like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars into water.
Oh, see, you missed my my Link Between Worlds 100% run where I literally threw a 3,000 rupees into a fairy fountain right at the end.
For fun or because you had to?
Because I had to. Oh, I hit the wrong.
You hit the 25. Now our count is off.
No.
Rip. You thought this was a 10 cycle fairy.
Right, well,
not
may as well
today.
hit another 25 there to make 50, and then actually hit 50 next time.
Sometimes the mashing is just too much. Interesting enough, that mashing actually inspired the Tony Award-winning television show MASH, starring Alan Alda.
So, we only need to do that 2 more times.
2 more times when we get the cash.
Yeah. Okay. May as well just go this way, I guess.
Yo, have we left the script? Are we off script? He's gone rogue.
I think you actually do go that way in Hundo. But, yeah. Not because you fluted back right there, though. Well, you don't, like, come there from the light world. You stay in the dark world and go up there.
Skull Woods is actually my least favorite dungeon.
Oh, yeah, this place can go to hell.
It's
very promptly.
awful. There's so many paths you can take, so many like fake jump that you don't need in here.
Oh, I just hate these mummies.
I'm not a fan of the stalactite hands, so too much PTSD from like rando grabbing an item and then immediately getting picked up by one of them.
And they can be helpful in rando though if you don't have a mirror.
That is true, because they'll take you back to the entrance.
I'm trying to think of where do I get more money at?
There are no more 300s?
I'm trying to think of some. There probably is somewhere on like Death Mountain. But I'm not 100% sure where. I have a good idea of where, but yeah.
I also agree, Manic, but that's literally how I enter every dungeon most of the time, which sucks.
Right. There's the front half of Skullwoods. Making our way downtown.
Oh, it's interesting you should say that. Fake news fun fact, that song was actually inspired by all of the overworld travel. Oh god,
okay,
that link has to go on.
am honestly not sure what happened there. Did I like fire on the corner or something?
Yeah, I think it hit the corner.
Oh.
Hey, we're in Space Jam.
Go away.
Oh! Ooh, that was scary.
So, 5 hearts, huh? Okay. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I have a fairy, so I guess it's not that.
You have a fairy. Hey, you also have 6 hearts.
Oh, 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Even better then. Well, now it's 4.
This boss sucks. This boss is so bad.
I heard boss like fire.
Oh,
Love lamp.
God, this boss is so bad.
Get lamp. I accelerated the lamp into its face.
I don't know who designed this particular boss for Nintendo, but they are fired. They no
Right.
longer work for the company. Basically, this guy, who then went on to later write Mothra as a Godzilla villain, because obviously Mothra was inspired by Mothula in Link to the Past. He was like, a room full of spikes, great. Giant moth boss that fires the same rings that Windy Koopa fires in Mario, great. Having the boss not take damage when running directly into spikes, but Zelda, the main character, can, great. But something's still missing. Conveyor belt floor.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it. Why?
Right?
Ugh.
Okay, so legit though, one of my favorite things about that boss room is in Enemizer, when you get Helmasaur King in there, he's just helmet-coptering away, his tail's just spinning like mad. Love it.
Enemizer and Boss Rando in this game is probably one of the more fun ways to play, in my opinion. Just like having the random bosses in the rooms, like Moldorm having extra eyes.
Oh.
Yeah,
Or one eye.
Yeah, or one eye, and like other bosses being in rooms they're not supposed to be in, so they don't really do anything.
Yeah, Mothula is like completely useless in pretty much every other boss room.
Any other room, Mothula is literally a moth. So. I like how you made Link look very surprised at the earthquake.
Right?
I do love the catfish in this game. He's adorable.
So normally this is where we would get the flippers, but we had to dump all that extra money, so we're just gonna
Time
go
save!
straight to Ice Palace now.
Which has Deagle's favorite boss.
Oh yeah.
Also known as Runkiller. The boss. The sequel. Well, we need 15 more rupees for one trip back to Fairy. So if we see a 20 bomb or something.
By the way, at the end of Skull Woods, we are now 14 minutes and 45 seconds behind.
Nice.
My Hundo PB here.
Question
Yes.
for you, sir, while you're running the game.
Okay.
So NMG, Icebreaker is not allowed?
Not allowed.
Okay.
They did allow it, that and Diver Down for Rando, but it was voted against in
NMG.
Energy Speedrun.
Nice. Whoop.
Okay.
You thought, and then the wall was like, nah, we're playing volleyball today. Back at you.
I could kind of tell that was off place, but I was like, let's just hope.
Off place, maybe, but I didn't expect like you to pick it back up so fast that like it looked like it literally bounced off the wall back into your hand.
Oh.
That was like the best part.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
I spiked it at the end there. That's why it fell short.
Uh-huh.
Alright, here's good old bomb jump. There we go. We did it.
That one seems a little easier than the others. Like in
It's
terms
not
of, like, I mean,
pixel
obviously
perfect.
it's still like you have to get proper positioning to get it to blast you the right direction.
Yeah.
But
It's thankfully not pixel perfect. There's like a couple pixel range, depending on your there's like I think 3 positions that work, if I'm not mistaken.
the classic obligatory ice physics.
Oh right, we're doing 100% item completion. Okay, so we're gonna have some fun here.
Whee!
Because I need to get in there. But there's one very big problem with trying to get in there. I don't have a big key.
We don't have the big key. You know,
So,
Deagle, were you not listening to my commentary at the very beginning of the run where I said, most of these dungeons, your job is to get these small keys and then get the big key.
I remembered it in time, okay?
Nice, door opening
I know,
stuff
right?
there. So,
Oh, really?
yo, when the memory of Hundo kicks in.
Okay. We'll see. In Hundo, we don't get the blue tunic either, but since we're doing item completion, I'm grabbing extra small keys because I'm trying to remember how many I need for this.
Just enough.
Do you believe I need to go this way?
Yeah, remember that 14 minutes? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another problem. Okay, it's been a good minute since I've done this bomb jump.
Oh, you don't have hookshot.
Nope. Oh, God. Okay.
Chat, you are in for a treat.
There we go.
Hey. Nice. Again, it's like you've played this game before.
I know, right? Imagine that. So we're making this big old detour because we need a, Grab the tongue!
It's okay, don't worry. The homie was just dancing with his lightsaber there instead.
Oh, bonus map.
I believe you mean an extra addition to all of the maps and compasses we have collected so far.
Yeah.
It's a big
definitely.
key.
Yep. Alright, so we got a big key. Gonna make our way back down to the big chest. See, look, this was all planned. 100%.
Calculated. Nice name drop there. 100% of it. I see what you did.
Well, now that's what I did.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% calculated, dude. I'm telling you. Interestingly enough, we talked earlier about like the Cheeto sword and everything else. Did you also know that the fire bars are basically Cheeto puffs, like the cheese balls? From like back in the day?
There you go. Went down to JCPenney here and got a
Yo,
new set of threads.
Got us a blue tunic from the Reba McEntire collection?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
I mean, imagine getting clothes from any other collection.
I only buy all of my clothes from the Reba McEntire collection, sold only at JCPenney. So,
We're just
a
gonna...
lot of people are going to get the wrong idea. They're going to be like, dude, these guys are like sponsored by so many companies.
Right.
Frito-Lay, JCPenney.
Hope you guys enjoyed the bonus bomb jump. I wasn't expecting that bomb jump.
That wasn't even on the incentive list. That's just on the house.
Oh, that was too early. Alright, I don't know how that got hit, but...
Uh-oh, too early, and now we are without fire. Time to panic basket.
No, get to the wall. I want you to... Wanted him to stay on the wall so I could get double spins on him, but... He wasn't
That entire situation, which, by the way, you recovered very well. That entire situation just reminded me, as the boss fight went on, of the meme with the older gentleman that's like, call an ambulance! And then I think he's like, but not for me. So... Because you were like, well, I did that spin too early, but it's fine. Because I'm a god.
Yeah, so the main idea for that fight is after you bust the ice, you want to release a spin to kick all 3 eyeballs into the corner, and then you just pin them in the corner, and you can... There's a few strats there. You can just slash the heck out of them. You can do some poke dashes into a spin, which I think is the fastest version. But there's quite a few options.
Interestingly enough, that boss...
Oh. I was trying to remember if I needed to get the bottle under the bridge yet or not. I had to cross-reference my splits here.
Man, you just let that duck go sailing by, man.
Yep. Oh, I didn't get spin speed. Yeah, spin speed is a hard thing to get sometimes.
But when you do get it, it's cool.
Like,
whee! Yeah, I was gonna say that that boss, Cold Stare, actually inspired the several bosses actually from the Kirby franchise, including like the Cloud boss that also has a single eyeball that spikes up. Cool fun thing. Thank God for the fairy.
so if I didn't have the 1.5 damage at the beginning, I would have lost my last heart as I was picking this up.
Which would have been devastating.
Yep. And that's why I grabbed the fairy. Because like I said, I can just miss the no fairy strat. I'm so close to it, but I haven't managed to quite pull it off yet. It's tough, though. It's really tough. But yeah, so you use the iframes there to get a dash off, and you try your best to get as much dashing as you can.
Yeah, duck to the duck.
Yep.
Alright, so we're gonna come over here and read some literature.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, that's actually the entire plot of The Maze Runner that he's reading.
Yep.
Well, before it got published, because of course it was inspired by this game.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, you run it through enough mazes that there are mazes in here, so... That actually looked like Link was about to throw a sword.
I always do
like,
that,
oh.
like release the spin right as I hit that portal there, just because it's just excellent.
Hey, money! Alright, we need 95 more rupees.
We need 295 more rupees.
295 more rupees. That was my second answer.
Oh no, 195.
Oh.
195. We only need 2 more, because we're going to go up to 60 and then straight to 70. And that'll be it for the arrows. And then I need to spend 100 rupees on the giant bomb.
That's fair. I did forget about the giant bomb.
Yep. Yeah, the whole time I was tossing rupees into the pond, I was like, how many do I need still?
Just doing quick maths, the usual.
Yep. I mean, I am a mathematician after all, even though I'm terrible at numbers.
And I'm an engineer, which means I love numbers, but hate theoretical garbage.
Hey.
I'm sorry, theoretical mathematics. Sometimes those two terms are synonymous. Do you know that I also teach English? So that's why I can use words like synonymous.
I know. I mean, you got to be well qualified, permitted to use these kinds of words.
Yeah, I have been knighted by both Merriam and Webster.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not the dictionary people, by the way. I'm talking about the old lady from Courage the Cowardly Dog and Webster from the old school television show.
There it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this dungeon, if you don't know, okay. This dungeon has one of the most broken items in the entire game. And, sadly, we won't be showing off any of the brokenness in this category.
No.
But those of you who have watched Rando have seen the many tricks that it has allowed. 2 of which are Diver Down and Icebreaker. But if you check out some of the no restriction major glitches runs, oh boy, is that thing used. You use it to initiate all sorts of door glitches, sprite deletion, and Scylla glitches. It's also used for, or can be used for, spooky action glitch, which is allowed in NMG. I'm just really bad at it, and so I gave up trying to do it. But that is a trick in this dungeon.
It was too spooky.
I mean, I'm probably not going to get it, but I can try. Here, I can get it. Aw, no chest turn. I failed. Sorry.
Oh my god.
That's a real thing, by the way. You can do it on any chest.
That's fine. But I wanna come out and say, on behalf of other communities out there, tub turn isn't a real thing.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I said tub turn is not a real thing. Why did you just throw a block off the edge? What?
So that actually sets up an altitude.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God. Come on. Well, never mind. I messed it up. Because I placed the block after the dust was up. You need to have the dust up while you place that. And that didn't quite work out today. So, no spooky.
But we'll get it next time. It appears that I've gotten the Resident Evil community out of lurch. Mission
They're like, how
accomplished.
dare!
Yeah. Keep in mind, if there's someone that you want to be upset about the tub turn comment, you should direct your anger at Deagle, who made me say it twice. Now, I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. So.
I guess you can also be upset at me for making that name up. So this boss We're gonna damage boost. And we're gonna spin to win.
Oh, actually, I had this boss I really like this boss before I figured out that his like pool of like green jello was deadly. Which should be clear because most things that are green in games are bad. So, but interestingly enough, another developed video game, very famous video game developer by the name of Capcom, was inspired by this particular boss, and it actually is a great segue from my Resident Evil comment earlier, that all of Resident Evil is actually inspired by this one boss, which is why everyone that takes the virus in Resident Evil games grows multiple eyeballs in different spots in their body.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So,
you know, in Resident Evil, the eyeball like is always the weak point. For Vitreous, like it may have just, you know, taken that concept and went a little overboard.
yeah, definitely. They were like, you know what? Instead of just using an eye, we'll have an actual person with eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I believe that there's a Resident Evil run in this marathon, right? It hasn't. I don't think it's happened yet. I'd have to look at the schedule again, but
I think it's Sunday.
later. Nice. So. Not even going to mention the Vitreous and Cold Stare are inspired by each other as giant enemy eyeballs. Shaking my head. I mean, I did mention already that Cold Stare was the inspiration for the eyeball enemies in Kirby. I felt like if I made that fake news fun fact, it would be like dividing by 0. The inception, or eyeception, I guess in this case, would be so powerful that I would open up a black hole. So, but for now, we're safe.
Did you just say eye section?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there another word for an eye inside of an eye? I squared, I guess. But then that would be -1. Haha, math joke!
Hey.
We get one math joke. I mean, I've already probably been purged from chat and banned for the rando joke earlier, so a math joke can't harm me.
I need those extra bombs, you know? I don't think 42 was enough.
At least, you know, again, you can use the mirror trick to, like, delete to delete the block.
Yep. I love that trick.
It's a good one. So... yes, use the singularity to, like, fling Link across the screen. The ultimate glitch.
Hey, we got all 3.
Nice, they were pretty well positioned.
Yeah. They're just like, we're ready.
We've been here waiting forever while you were throwing money into a fountain.
Right? Yeah, I'm only like almost 18 minutes behind the split.
Oh
so,
my goodness.
You know, no big deal.
Alright, Chad, I have a game to play with you. I know some of y'all are lurking and at work and stuff like that, and that's perfectly fine, but I have a game to play with the rest of you, which is how many minutes over Deagle's Hundo PB will this run be because of the incentive? At the end. We won't know until the end. He's already given you a hint about how far he is behind now. I think geometry jokes are a cute set of jokes. Oh, that was adorable. I'm keeping that one.
As a geometer, I appreciate that. Still one thing.
Okay, someone said, interesting. Which somehow thinks you're going to gain 6 minutes, like you're going to get 6 minutes back by the end of the run. Interesting.
I don't know where those are going to come from.
A lot of people didn't hear your hint, I don't think. Which is fine. So...
Oh my god. Why did the spike end
sword
up
beams?
back between the things? Look at this dude. That's just rude, you know? Oh, and Sire apparently thinks I'm gaining 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
There we go. Which, with the 69 minutes over... I believe if Deagle is 69 minutes over, we're into the next run.
Yeah.
So...
I do believe so.
Sire over here with the subtle flex. Look at me, I've got a real job.
You know, only because it's Sire, I'm going to say that just sounds like a poor excuse, sir. He's just making excuses. Okay.
And the man continues to skip rupees.
Yep.
The Mad Lab.
I know, right?
Alrighty. I'm trying to think. What? So, okay. Yeah, I know. After this dungeon, there's a lot of like extra pickups and stuff like that, and then we're headed on over to Turtle Rock, I assume.
Yeah. So much for that. Yeah, we have a bunch of chores after this.
Yep, we gotta run our errands.
Yep. Love that you can pick up that pot through the
through the statue.
Yep.
Oh, we had to release the flood.
Yep. Nope. Okay, those are both men.
Which is great.
Could have swore one of them was a 50, or one or more of them was a 50.
I was gonna say, could have been better, but still good. So
yeah, I'll take it.
We're one step closer.
Only 144 away. I don't know why I grabbed those hearts.
I don't know why either, but you know what's a great song by Ozzy Osbourne? I don't know. It's a wonderful, wonderful song. A song that Deagle couldn't remember the name of in the PB video, and neither could Clicks. So, and I'm here to inform them both that the song is actually called I Don't Know.
Hey, that's what I said I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. Also,
which was inspired by Link to the Past.
Oh, yeah. Is Link to the Past actually older than that song?
I mean, Link to the Past is older than all.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I'm talking like Cthulhu played this game as a small child.
Alright, let's see if I can... Oh no! He got the second cycle hop. Well...
That was cool looking though.
So the idea, what you can do there is pin him on the wall with 2 fire rod shots, and then let a spin out, and then he dies, without hopping back up. That was the hope. Didn't quite work.
Still pretty quick though. It was a good fight.
Bad. Not too bad.
Also, I can't be the only one that thinks when he's in his like first form that he looks like cotton candy.
I think Cold Stare looks like cotton candy.
Cold Stare also looks like cotton candy. Man,
So
a
much
lot of cotton candy
Yeah.
in this game.
Not gonna lie, now I kind of want cotton candy.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't eaten it all today and I'm starving. So every time I see a boss, I'm like, ah, food.
You're just like, what food does this one look like?
Yep.
When you saw...
I mean, there's a lot of objects in this game that look like food. For example, the rocks on Death Mountain look like pancakes.
Those
The
crystals
falling rocks
look
look
like
like
rock
meatballs.
candy.
That's true. So, now people in chat are going to be like, oh, why do they have to talk about food? I'm hungry too.
Right?
Alright, so, time to go run some errands. We gotta do some dry cleaning.
Yep.
Go to the grocery store. Get some gas. Now there's a way to spend your rupees.
If I'm not mistaken, there is, in fact, over here. Sir, please stop dropping bombs everywhere. If I'm not mistaken, up here there are some rupees.
In before mistaken. I'm ready for it.
I want to say this cave has some, but if not, there is some in that stair. Oh, that's up here. Okay. Well, there are some rupees
maybe
under
ask
here.
the fairy for a small loan.
This is not the cave I thought it was. One moment, please. This is the cave I was looking for. Oh, right. He doesn't give money.
You mean he doesn't allow you to steal money?
I mean, look, tomato.
Tomato tornado.
Well, since we're here, we're just gonna get this right now. I was really hoping for 200 more rupees here.
Just sell the ice rod. You don't need it anyway.
Did I say 200? Sell the ice rod. No? Okay. Sometimes
I mean,
drop
some
that,
ways,
I
right?
think.
Well, maybe you didn't get the best luck, though.
Could be. Alright. We're gonna go get these, and then... I have a way to get our last 123 rupees.
Sell your soul to the devil.
Yes, exactly.
Talk to the homie.
So we gotta get the bottle down here. It's our 4th bottle.
Nice. That's gonna come in handy when you have to smack the light bulbs back again.
What did I even bonk off of there?
The log on the fire. It was kind of just there. I'm watching it back in the VOD. Oh no, you bonked off the corner.
Yeah.
Of the,
I mean, like,
of the...
I know why I bonked, I guess, like, because the game is silly sometimes, but, like, practically, there's no ledge, there's no reason to bonk there, but because games are... Diagonals in Links to the Past are secretly jagged edges. Weird things happen.
That's true.
So I didn't go toss more rupees to the fairy because I wanted to buy this. I wanted to make sure I could buy this. I'll have that. Somebody. No.
How much are you willing to do for 1 rupee?
What would you do for a green rupee?
That jingle was actually inspired by Link to the Past, interestingly enough. The original name for Hyrule was actually Klondike, and the rupees were actually called bars, as in like bars of gold. So what they did was they would, instead of getting rupees and stuff, they would drop Klondike bars, because of course that's what they do, and then you would spend those, and therefore the jingle was born.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going here for some additional fairy upgrades from
My favorite fairy!
Voluptuous Fairy.
Yes. I love this fairy. So good.
Let me in.
So
Oh,
you would
easily.
kill for a Klondike.
I did several times already.
And now we have the butter sword.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Paula Dean. Sans racism.
Right.
So
Let's see. This one. Nope. I know it's one of you. One of these things statues here. There it is. No
Nice.
damage, please. No damage. Okay, so that's 4 enemies. No damage. No damage allowed. Stupid bush skull. There we go.
you could probably pick up 3 somewhere.
I hope so,
Along the
because
way.
I'm not doing that again.
Uh,
If I can't find 3 rupees, yeah, I would be amazed. Alright, so now we're gonna go get an item that we're gonna use exactly once. Which is a new fashion item.
ooh.
Also from JCPenney.
Oh yeah. Also from the Reba collection.
Yep. We got a nice fancy cape.
Oh yeah. To go with my blue tunic.
Yep. Red cape with a blue tunic. And a white hat. America.
America. Oh, there's one.
Yep.
2 left.
That was not close.
Nice. We're getting there. 3 more full hearts, yeah?
Yeah, 3 more.
Nice.
There's 5 more pieces of heart out there.
True.
And then the heart from Tracks.
Nice. And with that, I will be right back.
Alrighty. Yeah, so we're just, more collectathon here. Alright, here comes the exact one time we're going to use the magic cape. Sneak through there. Magic cape. Use that bouncer to give me a nice little push down here. And there's heart number 18. And we're over 200 rupees, so no more rupee collecting. But we do still have to throw in 200 more rupees. Okay. I'm just realizing I forgot an item. Let's go fix that.
Okay, I'm back. I grabbed a snack and let my cat in, because apparently my cat was at the door.
Nice.
Alright.
I'm
How are our errands going?
almost done. I forgot this item earlier.
Not a little bit of literature again.
Yep. Alright. One piece of art, huh?
Uh-oh.
There's two up here.
We're in that phase of the game.
Yes, we are.
So where did my pieces of art go?
Oh my god. I autopiloted to the wrong spot again. Which piece of art did I forget?
Uh-oh. Someone pull out the guide. The Prima Strategy Guide. There was one of them. I know you saw that one.
Yep. Yeah, that's the last one.
Usually until today.
Yeah, right? It's one I don't usually forget.
Was there one you forgot near Swamp Palace? What about the checkerboard heart? Did you get that one?
Yep. I remember mirroring through the blocks there. Lost a down input there. I'm trying to think about this while I'm going through this dungeon here.
While you autopilot your way through the dungeon?
Yeah, hopefully.
This is why muscle memory is amazing.
Right? Oh, I missed. What? Oh, what did I forget? By the way, look at that full inventory screen there.
Oh, it's so nice. So well organized. It's like just a really, really good RE4 case.
Right?
Did you miss one near the ice rod? Because when you were going through that area, you did it relatively quick and it was out of order for you.
Normally the one I get before that is... Flippers. Or no, sorry, by the swamp. I got it.
Okay.
I think I got it. Yeah, I got that.
Oh, we'll figure it out as we go through this lava-infused crazy pipe maze.
Yep.
Which was the inspiration for that one mini-game from Mario Party. Where the treasure chest goes into the pipes and you have to pick the correct one that it comes out of.
Oh, right. There you go. Big key.
Nice.
Yeah, all this, like, doing things slightly out of order is, fun sometimes when you're trying to remember what you're doing.
But honestly, this is the reason why I love runs like this, where there's like incentives that like throw people off. Because it's like, wait a minute. That makes the mystery half the battle.
Did I just... Okay. So apparently, muscle memory isn't doing muscle memory's job here. It's supposed to just go through here.
Sometimes it just autopilots you into the wrong pipe. It's fine.
Yep.
I see you got some more rupees, or Klondike bars, as they were more well known.
I did.
Nice.
We have all the rupees we are going to need now. We're gonna stop in here for another piece of heart. That's not a very efficient menu.
It's so easy to get them to run away from you, and then like, haha.
And here comes the mirror shield.
Sweet.
Matches a little bit better with our outfit here.
True, it matches with the hat. That's really the aesthetic you're going for here.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to get yourself a nice outfit from the Reba McEntire collection and then, like, turn around and not have anything to go with it. What the heck?
The fire
The bar
hit
got
the
in the way.
roller.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens sometimes. So here's this dark maze that probably confused quite a few people.
It still confuses me. Yeah.
It's amazing how simple it actually is when you know the solution.
I like what you did there. Again, amazing. Well run. Well done indeed.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so you'll notice a couple times through here that like Deagle will like hold a sword out in order to put that mirror shield in like the proper orientation so that the laser just pink off of it.
Yep. Oh, this is the right item. Plop that down there. Yep. Alright. I'm gonna do this once and only once just for fun. See if I can get any distance on this. Nope. Okay.
Okay. There you go. Nailed
I
it.
almost got it in a run I did in one of Big John's marathons.
Wow.
Almost.
That is impressive.
Didn't quite make it, but I think it was like 2/3, 3/4 of the way.
So, interesting. Fake news fun fact. The Hydra of Greek mythology was actually inspired by Trinex.
I believe this.
Yeah. So, which again proves that Link to the Past was out before even the country of Greece.
Yes.
So
100% is, as it is for a lot of games that don't have like an explicit, percentage counter in it. It's sort of community defined. So for Link to the Past, what we mean by 100% is basically, the item screen needs to have the highest level of everything. We don't need to get the intermediate ones, since items are not progressive in this game. Yeah, so we just need the max level of everything. But here we're doing a little bit of a 100% plus, where I'm actually getting the intermediates as well as the capacity upgrades.
Because the incentive was met.
Yep.
So.
Here, please place a bomb. Okay, thanks. And this, fun fact, this cave is also known as Hover Cave, because you have to hover to all those chests. I hear Max is being summoned.
Yes, I was. My apologies.
Alright, so that should have been the last heartbeats. It isn't, so after we beat this dungeon here, we have some fun chores to go do. I have to think about which one I didn't grab. I also need to remember to get the red tunic in here, which is usually the thing I forget. Yeah. Like
Don't
Sal
forget
says,
the red tunic, by the way.
Thanks.
Or that heart piece that you've forgotten somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try. I'll try not to forget that heart piece.
Mm-hmm. I'm the outlier rando player, as well as Sire. We pick up all of the chests.
Yeah, they go for 216. Stupid red boom.
You leave the red boomerang alone. It does its job.
Oh, that double hit. There we go. I'm legitimately baffled about which heart piece I lost.
We're about to go on a hunt.
We are. We legitimately are. Should have hookshot it up there, but... Okay.
Nice.
So, anyway, here, we are going to see some familiar faces. Get a moment here.
They've missed us.
Really? I hate when that happens. Remember these guys? They're holding ice cream cones in their right hands there.
Statues on ice!
Yeah, that's why they have ice cream cones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go get that red tunic. Or wait, get something else.
Hello. The best part of this is the purple hat.
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, who doesn't want a purple hat?
Mm-hmm.
No! Accidentally hit up on the bow. Oh. You ever do that when you just push on the wrong, the wrong block? You're like, why isn't this working?
I mean, it could be the right block if it tries hard enough. It just doesn't have the motivation or initiative.
Fair. It was never inspired.
Mm-hmm. Unlike so many other things that we've mentioned today.
Mm-hmm. This room is called Ganon Ball Z. That is all. Not elaborating
See,
on that.
if you blinked, you missed the fact that we spent 40 episodes powering up before we ran across it.
Uh-huh.
Which is why it inspired Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z, inspired by Ganon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's a play on the name of the room, you know?
That is very true.
I hate that room. These guys are jerks.
Oh, hey, it's stupid worms again.
I'm getting a 2-cycle stupid worms when I have silver. You know what? You're gonna die with this.
I thought when you were saying that, I was like, are we going to see a 3-cycle stupid worms?
I was thinking that.
Interesting enough, one of Reaper's alternate costumes in Overwatch is actually inspired by those guys. Or these guys.
What? This is the rudest this room has ever been to me in my life.
Even the conveyor belt wasn't working against you. It was like, nope. I think my doorbell just went off. What the heck? Who uses a doorbell anymore? Don't people just casually walk into your house?
Yeah, all the time.
There you go.
Nice. Unintentional dash turn. Oh
This is
man,
the room.
I don't know if I have enough bombs to do this. I was really worried there. You might have ran out of bombs.
Yeah, me too, dude. Hey, it's our friend, the walking hamburgers again.
What is up with me today and, like, not being able to do this? I swear, I want to get at least one. Give me at least one. I don't get it.
I mean, I've seen you do these a bunch, so...
I want to get at least one to prove I haven't been memeing the whole time with this. You know, game...
As long as while you're doing the hover, you think about where that heart piece is.
Alright, this is the last try, because I don't actually want to keep wasting time on this. Ah, that was the right pattern, and then I slipped up. Well, okay.
It's okay, you got off the edge. So...
I promise I can actually do that. That was for the memes, just dash there twice.
Mm-hmm. Much better the second time around.
we're gonna leave that chest there just for Sire.
Where's that?
Yeah, right. Alright, time for tennis round 2.
Mm-hmm.
This one's
Now with
extreme
extra
focus.
agonins.
Did you say tetra?
What?
Did you say tetra agonins?
Triple agonins.
Oh.
But sure, yeah.
Well, I thought you said that. I was like, sir, you should,
Tetragonins.
There you go.
Oh no!
It's a bat. Okay, so we have some chores to do before jumping down this hole.
One major one.
I still, for the life of me, cannot figure out what one I forgot.
Oh god.
I definitely grabbed that.
Yeah.
Get this mirror here. That was way too close. What did I forget?
Did you get the heart piece on the island in the water?
Nope.
Is that the one you forgot?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so not too much of a
Okay,
waste
so that was called autopiloting right there. I did not mean to do that.
It's kind of on the way, sort of, because you had to do this anyway.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go. 60 arrows. One more of these. Alright. I hope you guys are ready to see the Great Fairy one more time.
Last time.
It's the last one. Live it up, guys. There it is. Max arrows. Perfect. And, let's see. Yeah, so I was supposed to do this after Swamp Palace. But...
So we can get this last. Perfect.
Yep. But because I was doing whatever the hell I was doing... I was trying to look for other rupees down south. I forgot all about the heart piece. We'll just, you know, take this little detour here.
Now that last fairy wasn't that fairy though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint you.
Ta-da!
Hey, look! 20 hearts.
He was holding it for you.
Yeah. Thanks, little green dude. Alright.
No problem, bro.
Now, y'all like bacon? You wanna go make some bacon?
I'm a fan of bacon. I'm vegetarian right now, but I'm still a fan of bacon.
And
Were you thinking about going to get some more rupees there for a second?
no, I was thinking about magic. There we go. So, Obviously, Zell knows, but time as soon as I walk through the door here. That's what's right. This one.
One of these lights up torches.
Well, normally I have the hook shot equipped to evade bats
Fair.
and nonsense.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, nice.
Look at that sword extension, that form. Beautiful fluid form.
God, there was like no teleports there.
We take
I
those.
turned them blue.
What a loser.
Oh, that's it.
Nice.
Got that little halo above his head there, you know?
Yeah.
Have to get all the fun bits. Alright. Now, do you guys like goals? Because, we made a goal
Go!
and time.
Nice. Very good. Did you guys know that the actual game of soccer was inspired by that moment?
Yeah, this is true.
GG's, man.
Thank you. Alright. So I hope you all enjoyed the 100% plus. We'll call it 101%.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's not quite the 100% item completion category, because that, you know, we do need to get maps and compasses. And I don't remember, like, I obviously could find them all. It's not that hard to full clear this game, but I figured if I couldn't remember how to do them all quickly, we should do the best we can. So hopefully this improv, all items, all capacity upgrades, hopefully that was fun. Yeah, no problem. It was fun to go through and get all the extra stuff.
I had fun.
Yeah, got to surprise Max with a few things.
Yeah.
We got to, you know, bless the Great Fairy multiple times.
Yeah.
By dropping tons and tons of 5-cent pieces on her head.
And we also learned a lot of fun facts.
Yeah,
So-
lots of fun facts.
Oh, look, Lawrence is still alive.
This is the benefit, though, of having played this game like thousands upon thousands of times by now. Is knowing where a lot of things are.
Absolutely.
So we can chill out here with the credits for a few minutes.
What chat really wants to know is how far above your PB splits were you?
Oh yes. Okay, so the final time is 2:24:05, which is above my hundo PB, 26 minutes and 40 seconds.
Nice.
So that was, if you count the extra 30 minutes I proposed for this incentive, that was I think 16 minutes under that estimate. So I'll call it a win.
So, and Sire was actually pretty close. He said 24:20.
Oh.
No. Thanks for the opportunity to commentate and just shoot the breeze for a bit. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Good to do some commentary with you again. Been a little bit.
Been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Gave me just enough time to watch enough movies to make enough references to be fun facts.
There you go. I mean, you gotta get the important things, right?
Correct.
Yeah, glad you all had a good time. enjoying the our breadsmiths here. Fun fact: bread baguettes were inspired by Link to the Past.
That is actually true. Actually, even further than that, the entire idea of the French was inspired by Link to the Past, and therefore baguettes.
Ah.
So, true, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's always good to know these things, you know?
It's a lot of fun facts and references in the credits, since you can see everything.
Yeah. Yeah, so old man, just getting lost again, apparently. He didn't learn his lesson the first time. We got some wiggly dudes dancing in the forest. Doing a seance, perhaps. And the Master Sword sleeps again. Until 1998. When...
No. It says forever. It says forever.
It does. You're right. Yep.
It never wakes up. It died. That's sad.
Alright, so now that we made it through the fun part of the credits there, I'll leave it up to you, Zell, whenever you want to hop over. But once again, thank you guys for showing up, for donating everything you have so far, and thank you, Max, for coming along with me. And
no, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the marathon. See you around in chat.
See you guys.